Yeah, so the question is basically, if you're using an exit logic, then will the trailing stops, still work and still take over if the exit signal is not given? Let's kind of take a quick peek at this. So when you're adding your BloodHound signals here, right, and you don't even have to add an entry signal. So let's say you want to use BlackBird purely discretionary, right? So you don't want BloodHound to enter trades for you automatically, so you can uncheck the entry signal. And so what the question is about is using the exit signal. And, this does exactly what it says. An exit, you have an entry to enter into a trade. Well, and then you have an exit to exit the trade or flatten out the entire trade. Yesterday, we created a BloodHound template with some exit signals. So let's load up yesterday's BloodHound file. There we go. All right, we click OK. And so in the exit signals here, here is our exit. So it's a 5-bar reversal exit there. So, right, so if we wanted to, we could just use the exit signal part of it. Is it right? So you can mix and match whatever, depending on what type of trader you are. So if you're just purely discretionary, maybe you only want to use the exit signals in this way. So, but of course you can obviously use both the entries and the exits together. So we could do something like this. All right. So you could use one of the, select whatever logic template is you're providing your entry signals, and then select whatever logic template is providing exit signals to flatten a position there, right? So, oops, I turned it off. There we go. Yeah, so you can mix and match there. So I'm gonna do this without the entry signals, like so. And so the other part of the question is, how do exit signals combine or interact with trailing rules here? So let me create an order set here, so that way I can create a stop loss. So let's just go down to the trailings here, and I'll just use one of the quick lists here. So let's do the 10 tick trailing with break even there, like so. And so I guess before I do a little demonstration here, let me just say that basically the exit signals have nothing to do with trailing. The two do not interact with each other. They don't interfere with each other, and they don't have any connection with each other, right? So if you have trailing rules are going to execute regardless, right? So as long as that stop loss still exists, right, then the trailing rules will still do their part, still do their function here. So, an exit signal is basically, think of it as a backstop. It's a BloodHound logic, where it just says, basically the trade just fell apart and let's just get out of this position as soon as possible. Using this, using this BloodHound signal is telling me it's time to just abandon the trade and get out of the trade before the stop losses get hit. So that's what the exit signal is for. It's just kind of a secondary backup there to get out of the trade, hopefully before your stop losses get hit. So, right. Now, of course, if your stops get hit and you're flat again, so basically if you're flat, then of course exit signals have nothing to do. So exit signals can fire off, but if there's no trade to exit, well, then nothing happens, right? So exit signals, there's this misunderstanding that for some reason people think that exit signals will reverse a trade or get you into a trade if you're flat, but no, they only do one function, which is to flatten a position, right? So only the entry signals can actually get you into a trade or reverse a trade. So, Let's see here. All right, so let's yeah, let me just click on that. And yeah, in order for that exit template to work, I need to switch my bar types here. I need to go to a hybrid type Renko, so like the Pro Renko or the Uno Renko. You know, any of those Renkos will work just fine. Yeah, that ought to be good. Yeah, we'll get that loaded up. All right, and let's pull this down here, and let's show the exit signals on the chart here. Right, there we go. There is the exit signals. Let's see. Something doesn't quite look right. Let me see how did we leave this here? Oh, yeah, that's right. You got to look at the scaling here. Remember, every panel is auto scaled here. So yeah, you know, if you look, you know, it's easy to kind of forget that, you know, these may look like signals because they extend all the way up. But if you look at the value, right, they're only 0.3. So these are not signals. Yeah, there we go. Let's shrink the scaling down here a little bit. Now that makes a little more sense. Yeah. All right. So basically, those were the entry signals there that were used to create the exit signals, basically. Yeah. So let's see here if we can find an exit signal. There we go. There's an exit there. All right. So there you go. So the small little output there, that was just to help visually see where the entry signal would be, right? So we can see on this bar, that would be the entry, but then we got a reversal, and then 2 bars after, we got the exit there, like so. We got an entry there, but we didn't get one there, so I'm thinking the MACD is below the 0 line, so I bet if I pull the market down, it will generate an entry signal. And remember, the way that this exit logic works, you know, from yesterday's BloodHound workshop, is we need an entry signal first, like that right there. Bingo. There's a entry. And now, if I reverse, so let's see, if we go short, there we go. So we have a short position, and I probably need this stop further away than 10 ticks. Otherwise, that reversal bar might hit it. Yeah, so now if we get a reversal bar here, and bingo, there's our exit signal, and it exited the trade. So there we go. And let's see here. And so let's go long here. So if we go long, and this time there will be no exit signal, right? I'll just let the market just continue up, right? So that way there's no exit signal. And we'll see that the stop loss trailing will take over, like so. And also, let me open up the order monitor. There you go. There's our stop loss just moved to break even. So there you go. Yeah, you can see the trailing is working just fine there. Yeah, so let me close that out. And one other thing to note here. So let me generate a signal here. All right, just waiting for this bar to close. There. All right, so let's go long. So I just wanted to show you guys that, remember, when I first demonstrated this, I had to move my stop loss out of the way so that the reversal bar wouldn't hit the stop loss, right? I wanted the exit signal to flatten out the position, not the stop loss. And let me move this up here. I don't want that to close yet. What I wanted to show you guys is that when you move your stop loss, if your stop loss has trailing, the auto trailing gets disabled here, right? You can see this auto trailing. Automatically, if you manually move your stop losses, the trailing component gets disabled because you manually moved it, meaning you decided to take over the trade. And so therefore, the auto trailing has to be turned off, right? Otherwise, as soon as you move an order, it'll just snap right back if trailing is active. So, yeah, so just keep that in mind, that if you do manually, move your stops out of the way, that the auto trailing gets turned off automatically. So just remember to go back in here, and what you could do, I guess an easy thing to do is you can just hit the global auto trailing there. Just hit the global button, and that'll turn the trailing on for all of your stop losses. So if you have other order sets there, you don't have to hit the buttons for each order set. You can just hit the global auto trailing and turn it back on there. So, well, that was just a little extra side note there to be aware of.